Warning, the following video is not every engine at all, only some. Also, this is only part 1 of many, so wait to see if your favorite engine comes. Also, if you would like to, remember, you can comment down below to suggest an engine. That's always available, and let's get into the actual video. Okay, so the goal is to create the Unity rollable tutorial in Godot. That's the game we're going to be making in part 1 of this series. Okay, so the background footage is actually me making it. So I'm not going to be talking too much about what's going on, but as you can see here, I'm going to be creating a level and a player. But I've actually decided to, here you're going to see me looking up the rollable tutorial, but the idea is actually going to become the Brackey's Make a Game tutorial. That's what it's going to become. That was not the original idea. Here's me messing up the spelling a lot. But this became what I was going to do. Because I thought it would be really nice to actually use it properly. Use Godot a little more properly is what I mean there. If you can't tell, there's not going to be a lot going on here. So, yeah, we're going to be doing the Brackey's Make a Game tutorial without actually looking at it, because, well, that would be boring, just following a tutorial. So, right now you're going to see me just making the character, doing the environment setup. I've never worked in Godot 3D before this. I want to leave a link in the description to some of my previous games and some other resources. I also want to quickly talk about part 2. Part 2 will be coming out hopefully pretty soon. I'm currently editing this. It's a pretty big video. The source file for this was an hour and a half. And what you're seeing now is currently sped up 5 times the amount of the original video. Which is kind of crazy. I'm going to quickly go over the pros and cons of the Godot engine before I really get to talk about how it was to work with 3D. The first pro is that it's free and open source, which means if I need to add something, I can. The second pro is going to be, if you can make something in Unity, you can make it just as well in Godot. The third pro is going to be a personal one. I personally really like how GDScript works. I think it works pretty well for what it is. Then I'm going to now list 3 cons. I don't really like the rigid body system in Godot. It feels a little weird. And by rigid body, I mean more just the physics system. The physics system is weird, and I don't really understand it. Not that I could do any better. Just saying, it's not great. But it works. When it works, it works. The second con's probably one that you're not going to really understand, but it's the file system organization. It's a lot harder to organize with just that little bar that you see in the corner right there. That's all you have to organize with. You can't really organize the hierarchy too well because, well, there's no folders in there. I'd love to see them introduce folders so that I don't have to have useless nodes just keeping everything there. It's kind of annoying. Also, I would like to add for this next con that Godot doesn't come with its export templates, which also means that it doesn't come with console support, even if you have the ability to have Godot with a console support, which is a little annoying. Also, UWP support does not exist anymore, which means no Microsoft Store support built in, I believe. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, actually, in the comments. Thank you to everybody who corrects me about that, if I'm wrong. Also, Godot is a great engine overall. I really do recommend it. And it's obviously one of the best engines you can use right this moment. It's perfect for most games. Any indie game could use it. There's like a few games made with Godot that are fantastic. I've not played Sonic Colors, but if it's any good, that's cool. That's a Godot game. I have played Brotato and another game called Blood Thief. Blood Thief is really fantastic. It's currently an open playtest on Steam. So go play it. It's really fun. And Brotato is only like $5. And I don't know if this is the correct term for the genre, but it's a survivors like Vampire Survivors. Really fun genre. Quite popular as well, which is nice. There's probably going to be a lot of content cut from this video. But I would like to say that there was a lot that went into making this. Because I'm not just following the Brackey's tutorial for it, which is, let me check. I'll be back. I'll continue talking real quick, actually. This was made with just my knowledge of Godot, which is just awesome to be able to use. Just my knowledge to make something. Still. Brackey's, if you're unaware, is pretty much like one of the most popular Unity developers, I'd say. And the tutorial that we were basing this off of is an 11-part tutorial for beginners. I'd also like to challenge you to improve this game here. Improve its optimization to actually be reasonable to play. Which probably sounds weird, but yeah, please just try this out. It's a really fun project to work on. Now, obviously, I would like to say my version is nowhere near as complete as the version that Brackey's made in Unity. The Unity version is a 11-part tutorial, with each one being over 10 minutes, and does not have the technical difficulties that I had here, which was kind of strange to have to say. I had a lot of technical difficulties, and I also had a lot of frame rate issues near the end before I implemented one optimization that made the beginning a lot harder to play, but made, once you got to the end, a lot easier. If you take on this challenge, my idea for how you could optimize this is to pretty much add in a fog in the distance and not render anything past that fog. That would be, well, not the correct way to do it. That would be the aesthetic way to do it, to where it doesn't just look like the entire world's disappeared. Next episode should be Game Maker or Gdevelop. I'm not sure which one yet. Probably going to do Game Maker next, as that's one that I actually am excited to use. I made a game in Game Maker for the Pirate Software Game Jam, and it was pretty fun. Not the biggest fan of the engine personally, but it's not too bad. Also, this was like a really long time of waiting. I think I'm at the part where this is a really long time of waiting. Yeah, I think I am. Yeah, the game turned out fine. It was alright. Oh, wait, no. That was on a previous recording. That was a really long time of waiting. The original version of this was going to be that I used all the same assets. Everything used the same 2D assets. I did not like that version at all. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was boring and didn't really work well. My main technical difficulty here was the floor, which is kind of funny, because that's kind of like the easy part, in my opinion. Not really the easy part, but like this should have been really easy. The optimization actually caused a bug that I was able to fix. You're probably hearing a lot of mouse clicks in the background of me recording this. Not because I'm recording this live, no. What you're seeing is what I was seeing while recording this, likely. This took like hours. Actually, I'm not sure if you can tell the time in the corner. Let me check and see what time it would currently be in the corner. It currently, in the corner of this, says 11. If you could see the clock on my computer right now, you would see that it is 1:08. Not because this was a difficult challenge, but because it actually did take that much time to make this not buggy. I'm actually going to not say that this was Godot's fault, because it was 100% my fault. Every bug you see here is because I have never once worked with Godot's 3D system. I did do the tutorial when I was first learning game development, which was a while ago. So I actually kind of pretty much did this with just my little bit of knowledge from the tutorial and what I already know about Godot. At the end, I'll probably mention some of my other games, which will have some gameplay. Here was a really funny mistake where I had the floor falling, and I figured that out one pretty quickly, I think. Then the floor just wasn't working. That was a bug that took me way too long to figure out, and I created a new floor. That didn't work, and, wait, no, this was the attempt. It did work. I don't know how. I don't know how this worked. I'm actually going to scrap that entire level that you see here. At least I think it's this one that I scrap. Wait, no, we're getting near the end. So this is the level that actually makes it end. I was going to originally steal from the default built-in character controller, but it made way more sense to make my own for this project. Which is kind of funny. We get into the end now, where I can quickly talk about what this challenge allowed me to do. It allowed me to create a pretty fun, simple game to showcase. This is not a game that I would put on a portfolio, but this took me way too long. If you could see my clock, again, it's 1:10. In the video, it is 1:44. Not because this last few minutes that you're about to see took me 44 minutes. Not 44 minutes, like 2 hours. It's also because I'm like an hour late or something to making the editing process. That's definitely something. But this did take a long, long time. The next engine we're using, as I mentioned before, is GameMaker, or Gdevelop. I'm probably going to go with GameMaker. I think that one's pretty fun to work with. We'll talk about that more in the next video, but yeah, this one will be pretty fun. Next up is probably going to be me showcasing the game. So I'll showcase the game, I guess. That makes sense to me. Once I finish implementing this feature in the video. This feature was pretty much a really important feature. And I really think that if I didn't add this feature, the game would be really annoying to play. It runs at 60 FPS constantly. But if you're on really low-end hardware, the game would become, like, impossible to play, which is kind of a problem. And here's actually it working really well. I'm surprised at how well it worked. But here's the full gameplay. It takes a really long time, so I'm keeping the sped up version. And there it was. That was pretty fun. And here I'm going to play one of my better games for a little bit. Till completion, actually. It's very short. It was made for a game jam. And you want to know what else was made for a game jam? Code Killers, which was my only experience with GameMaker. So I'm not really sure if we're going to do too well. Leave in the comments a suggestion for what engines you'd like to see in this series. There's going to be a lot of them. You saw the thumbnail. That's actually was going to be a hint system. Like, oh, wow. The thumbnail showed GameMaker in a different spot originally. I'm probably going to change it to work a little better. But there may be a chance that the thumbnail is not actually based on what it was supposed to be. There you go. That was my entire game to completion. Code Killers was a really fun game to make, but I would like to say one big pro of Godot is the web builds run way better than GameMaker Studio web builds. This is a lagging mess of a game in the web build. Now, that's probably my fault, but the games weren't made that far apart. Ninja Witches is one of my favorite games that I've ever made in Godot. And honestly, I really think that's all I have to say. So if you did enjoy this, like and subscribe. Next video should be coming pretty soon. Links in the description to other outside sources. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. And I think I'll see everybody in the next part. That'll probably be in the next video. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry. See you in the next video. Goodbye.